foremost, I did not know that we were like Billiken fam. Okay,
you're Billiken fan?
I'm a Billiken.
You're from St. Louis?
I'm from St. Louis. I went to St. Louis University.
Oh, me too.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I was like, what? Why
wow, that's crazy.
Yes.
I don't even think people know what Billikens are.
They don't know what it is.
I've been thinking about trying to put a Billiken in a movie because they're pretty creepy.
Can you do it?
I could, because doesn't belong to St. Louis U. They're like ancient trolls or something.
This is like your sign. I think you have to do it now.
That's right. Yeah. Put a Billiken in the movie. Cool.
It's gonna happen. We're gonna talk about this for the next movie. Okay.
You got it.
One of the things that I really love about this movie is it really has like the importance of being good. You know?
Yes.
And so I want to know for you, because I feel like we're missing that right now.
Yes.
Like, what does it mean to just have goodness in the world?
Yeah.
So I wanted you to talk about the importance of having that in this film.
Yeah. I mean, I think the importance of having it is like enunciated by the fact that we even can have this conversation that it's important to have, like, as if that isn't something we know in this day and age, and we're surrounded by so much chaos and mean people, and as the center of culture, and we're just dying for a little bit of kindness, like we're a camel in the desert looking for water to fill our humps, and it's not there. And so I think that seeing Superman, and one of the reasons people are so excited about the movie, is because Superman does represent that basic human kindness and looking out for the people that need to be looked out for.
I think it's interesting. He gets into this real discussion, as he's being interviewed. And I think it's important because he wants to do what's good and he wants to do what's right.
Yeah.
But we also see the flip side of that.
Yeah.
Being good and doing good doesn't always fit with strategy. Sometimes you can create more problems than solve them.
Yes.
So can you really talk about having that interesting moral dilemma of what it takes to actually be a hero?
Yeah, I mean, I think that conversation between Lois and Clark works in a lot of ways. I think, first of all, we see their philosophical differences. Clark believes in saving life no matter what. Lois thinks, hey, listen, we got to, map everything out and make sure it's the right thing to do in that moment. She believes in more of a utilitarian philosophy, and then on top of that, it's about their relationship. It's about they're in the first 3 months of their relationship. They really like each other, and you know what it's like to be in the beginnings of a relationship where you fill in all the blanks for the other person. You kind of make them perfect. And then all of a sudden, their real personality starts coming out. You start seeing things that maybe you don't like as much as you thought you did. And is this something that's going to, in the end, their philosophical differences, are these something that's going to make them stronger because they have different viewpoints? Or is it something that's going to be such a big difference that they can't be together? So at the end of the day, all of that stuff is really about Lois and Clark and their relationship to me.
I love this scene because I was like, ooh, honey, the honeymoon phase is over.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We get into the real nitty-gritty of who they are.
Yes, the real. Yeah.
But I mean, also, too, I wanted to know, because I really love, first of all, you did your thing with Mr. Terrific. I think they're going to love his character.
They do. Yeah, people love Mr. Terrific.
Okay.
He's got a lot of people's favorite character. And I love him, and I love Eddie. He's a good friend of mine. So it's really cool to see him getting his due.
But also, too, we actually get to see him in action more.
Yes.
I feel like that's what fans have been dying for.
Yeah.
So, like, what was the one thing that you knew that you wanted to bring to Mr. Terrific that fans haven't seen before on screen?
Well, the first thing is to bring Mr. Terrific because he's never been on a movie ever. And so he's one of my favorite DC characters. I love everything about the character. I think he's strangely funny in his seriousness. I think just the mask and everything is super cool. And I love how he deals with those T-spheres. It's a different type of superpower, really. And the fact that he's not really superpowered at all. He's just really smart. So I kind of love everything about Mr. Terrific, and it's really fun.
But even with the Justice Gang, I love the whole idea of imperfect heroes, like people who have this power and they kind of stumble across doing good for it. So can you talk about really bringing that interesting dynamic to the Justice Gang for Superman?
Well, I mean, I think, when Peter Safran and I took over DC, we wanted to make sure it wasn't just heroes and villains. It really is shades of gray and all the people in between. And in between, you get people like Guy Gardner, who is a jerk, but probably a good guy at the base of it. And people like Hawkgirl, who are pretty ruthless, and we see different ways of expressing what we think of heroism. And Superman would never kill anything, but I think Hawkgirl would kill anybody who got in her way. Yes. So they're very different types of people, and I think it's important that they all have different personalities and characteristics.
I love it. I was just like, I don't know if y'all the heroes that we thought we were gonna get, but you are right in my book. You'll be fine. But I do want to know, like, bringing more characters to the DCU. Like, I want to know, have you ever thought about bringing like Nubia or Vixen? Like, because I really need that Nubia storyline, James. I need it. I need it.
Okay, I know. Well, I'm very aware of Nubia, and yes, we are very much talking about that, and we need to have, I want to have all sorts of people represented at DCU, and yeah, you might be happy in the not too distant future.
That just makes my heart smile, okay?
Oh.
And did you have any more updates on Static Shock? That's another fan favorite of mine.
Yeah, no updates on Static Shock. That's there's a whole bunch of complexities behind that character right now, but so I don't have as good news for you on Static Shock.
It's okay, but you gave me good news, okay? we gonna get a Billiken one day, and then we're gonna make people be known to Nubia, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Look, I just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I appreciate you, and I'm sending so much love and light your way. I really hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much.
How are y'all doing today?
Wonderful, thank you.
One of the things I really love about your characters is because Superman, he has to be like this gold standard and just be this whole symbol of good. But I like that y'all get to be messy, okay? You get to be messy heroes, do what you want. So I want to know, like, how is it like playing heroes that are kind of imperfect at the same time?
Well, it was funny for me because when I read the part and I started approaching the character, I very much believed that he should just be one or two dimensions. It was very clear what his functionality in the story was. It wasn't until the actual doing of it that we discovered you can't be out there putting your life on the line trying to save the world and not be affected by that. The stakes are high. So we started to find different colors that made the character more three-dimensional, more human, more unhinged.
Yeah. I really loved being able to scream like that in the scenes and whatnot, that screech, because I feel like Kendra is just the type of person that won't show you who she really is, not in a normal interaction, and you wouldn't expect much because she's very quiet and only opens her mouth to sort of say something sassy or just to say that she doesn't want to participate. But then you watch her in battle, and that to me is so much more revealing of who she is. And it's so interesting, it's so fun to play. Like I had the most fun doing the battling with my character.
Yeah, I think, the great thing about this movie is that none of the characters are placeholders. Yeah. None of these characters are just kind of propped up in order for other characters to move around or whatever. Like, every character has a perspective. Every character has, conflict within them. And I think that's what you could watch the movie a dozen times and each time look at one character and follow their journey. And you're gonna have a different experience every time. And yeah, and just personally as an actor, when you get to kind of play that messiness, that's the most rewarding stuff. Having a one-dimensional character is no fun. So when you get to have all of those other elements, it's great.
But I like that you bring that up because, your characters, they kind of try to be like, this ain't really my fight right now. Like, I'm gonna mind my business. But I feel like we have this moment where everyone realizes that, you have a part to play in this society one way or another. You can either fight for good, you can fight for bad, or you can just fight to live another day. So I want to know, like, what is it like playing heroes that start to have that change and understand that their roles mean something in how this world is moving today?
Well, in our world, there's sort of like a moral ambiguity that's happening, and we're living a little bit more in the gray. And this is a story that sort of celebrates the importance of being good and fighting for what's right and going up against forces that are oppressive. Lex is trying to destroy the world in some sense. So it's just a, now I'm forgetting what the question was. Are we at that time of the day?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Like we the after lunch crowd, honey.
Yeah, it's the after lunch crowd.
No, but I do truly, it comes down to like, are you gonna kind of, make a decision that's based solely on yourself? Or are you gonna kind of go beyond that and take a risk and try to help humanity? Make a decision that's better for the group and better for, for everyone else involved. And that's what Superman stands for, right? He stands for fighting for everyone and just trying to be an inspiration for good.
I was like, y'all was was your character, I was like, he trying to out here protect his people. But then even he had that moment, like, I got to do what's right. I have to like take a stand.
Yeah.
But I mean, Eddie, for your character, you know, I'm so happy that you have another comic book character, because I was like, until they do right by you, everything they even think about gonna fail.
Come on.
But I want to know, because like, fans are gonna be so excited to see your character. I want to know, what did it mean to like step into the role of Mr. Terrific and just know that it's gonna be a character that people are gonna be so excited to see you in?
In the prep of it and in the getting of it, it was very emotional for me, because I knew what it not only represented to me, but it represented to a lot of people, a lot of black people, with what happened with my character in the X-Men series, which was, and I've said this before, it was bad representation and missed opportunity. And the messaging behind that is, you can be the most powerful mutant in the world, but we'll never let you reach your full potential. Whereas in this movie, you can be the smartest character in the world, and you can help change the world and help save the world. It's a completely different thing. And for James to allow this character to do what this character does, it meant an incredible amount to me, and it's a huge honor.
But also to Isabela, with your character, I really like that we get a female like superhero that doesn't have to like play to this traditional role of what they expect a woman to be that's saving the world. I like that she gets to be messy. She gets to be like, I'm not helping you today because I don't feel like it. So what is it like to play a character that's actually allowed to like explore her full range of emotion?
I'm really excited to get into that. I'm really excited to see what that looks like. I have some ideas in mind, but I think I'm also really, the thing that made me excited was seeing her dynamic in this workspace with a bunch of men in a corporate environment. Like, being the youngest person there, that's something that I've struggled with my whole life. So getting to show that sort of work dynamic and environment, and how I wish I could, the things I wish I could say and do that I haven't in real life, it's really fun. It's a unique opportunity. Yeah.
You're so unbothered.
You're
so unbothered in the character.
Oh, in the character,
in
yeah.
these spaces, you're,
Yeah.
You're like 7 steps ahead. Just come on.
I know, it's so interesting. It's like, I don't know, being an actor, you're constantly just trying to people please, and I think the more you behave, the more you're rewarded. So Shire is in a way like a therapeutic character for me.
Look, I love it. I just want to thank all of y'all so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I really appreciate it. I'm just sending so much love in like all your ways, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you.
Appreciate these.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can we see?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
So
Wait, what's
cool.
the other hand?
It's Jurassic.
Oh, you
Can I
can
take a
say
picture of that?
kryptonite. You could just say,
You see?
right.
Can I take a picture then?
Busy. Wow.
Amazing.
Thank
You
you.
so much.
Sharonda Williams Waits. How are all of y'all doing today?
Good, good.
Look
Nice,
at your
Rhonda.
nails.
Beautiful.
I had to get my Superman nails,
I
okay?
saw.
See, we gotta stay in the theme.
There it is.
Whoa.
I first want to say, I know that this is a film about metahumans, but I'm talking to the real heroes of the movie, okay?
Okay.
Because y'all were out there saving the world too.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I think it's so important because, especially for your character, like he's such an authoritative figure, especially in journalism. And I want to know the importance of playing a character like that, especially when it almost feels like, kind of that authority and journalistic integrity is being attacked right now.
He is fighting for the survival of good journalism. He's fighting for the survival of the newspaper too. And to have this story fall right into the lap of the Daily Planet is a gift, and it is the thing that he is fighting so hard for. And then it brings out, in difficult times, it brings out the best in characters. It brings out the character in people. So we find the character in Jimmy and find the character in Kat. And I realize at the end of this movie that I have some really good journalists at the Daily Planet. So it's an inspiring movie for journalism too.
Yes, that's why I said y'all the heroes of the film.
Yes, indeed.
But I mean, also too, I love this idea that, there's something that Superman says, that his superpower is his humanity. And I like that that's woven throughout the movie. I want to know, for all of you, if you had to choose what your real life superpower is, what would it be and why?
Well, you have to answer that.
Well, mine would be healing people. If I could just kind of like Reiki, but like really heal people, that would be the superpower that I choose.
When she said that earlier today, we felt really bad because we were thinking all the destructive things that we could be. I could be like Mega Man,
Flying
destroying the
super fast,
world
lifting heavy
with
stuff.
bombs. And she said, I want to heal people. And it was like, womp, 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 womp. So I defer to her.
I was like, you could redeem yourself right now if you wanted to.
Yes, well, I would do everything possible to help her healing power spread throughout the world. So I would take the healing power and stretch it around the globe.
Well, thank you.
I like that the Daily Planet is really, I feel like that's Superman's anchor to his humanity. I want to know for all of you, because it's really that like tone where you feel like, yes, like I'm in Metropolis right now because we're at the Daily Planet. I want to know, what was that moment on set for you when you really felt like, okay, now I feel like I'm in a Superman movie. Like now I feel like this is really the Daily Planet. Like what was that moment for you on set?
The second I stepped into the Daily Planet,
Yeah.
I felt, I cried. I mean, it was so magical to see it, and it was like walking into that world. It wasn't like you were on a film set. It was like you all of a sudden were that character, and you were with, I mean, we all just are so close to these characters, I think, that it was iconic.
It was two moments for me. First, to see the iconic globe in the middle of the newsroom. It was beautiful. And I've been saying to everyone, I wish they had smaller ones on the desk because I would have stolen a couple. And then actually riding in the spacecraft. That's when I felt like,
So
ooh,
cool.
I'm in a Superman
Yes,
movie.
yes.
Yeah, that's when I really felt it. It was great.
Before my first day before we had filmed anything was all of the like shooting the posters like for the eventual billboards and stuff, and so they had been filming other things, but I showed up and like everyone was fully in the super suits, you know, everybody was like looked, and immediately the scale of what we were doing like dawned on me, and it was also like everyone had something so cool to do, you know, because they're all superheroes. So it's like the poster moment. So they're like, David's like standing there like being Superman, and like Nathan's doing like cool stuff, and then they'd be like, give us a little bit of Jimmy, and like I'm just kind of just a guy in the movie, you know. So I didn't really know what to do. Like I was holding a camera, just a lot of thumbs up. And so it took me some time to figure out what I was gonna do in the movie. But that was stepping onto that set and seeing everybody in the suits, like ready to go. It was unbelievable, totally surreal.
But you know, it's always interesting because you grow up watching these movies, and you know, it's like this fantasy world that you get to like dream about, but you're actually in this world now. You're gonna be like the people that these kids watch. I want to know for all of you, what was it like bringing your own version of this character? What were the conversations like with James? Because I do feel like we get some fun, different iterations of the characters in this installment of the franchise.
James was the biggest. He's the biggest Superman fan in the world. He has such an encyclopedic knowledge of all of the material, and the utmost respect for all of it. And still, with that, he was so encouraging, I think, of all of us to kind of do our thing and bring ourselves to it. And from the very beginning, in kind of the most like exciting way, he was like, "You are Jimmy, man. So whatever you bring to it." So we didn't have like a ton of conversations, and he basically was like, don't get in your own way, you know, I'll get you back on the tracks if you ever veer too far off. And so, well, it could have easily felt like, you know, the stakes are so high, and it could have felt like kind of rigid. It felt like the easiest thing in the world, because James had already done in all of the planning, like we really couldn't go wrong. The world was kind of there, and we got to just step into it.
Yeah, he always encouraged you to make it your own.
Yes.
Make it your own. You know, this is going to be your time to be able to, you know, mark your passing on the road, you know. This is my version of the character. And at the same time, he was a great leader because he knew the film he was making. It was never a question of, what should I shoot here? He knew exactly what his day was going to be, what stuff he needed to get, and he knew when he got it. Because he was putting it together already in his head. He had been living in the world for so long. So if there was anything that we brought to the character that would stray away from that or not feed into that, I'm sure that he would have stopped us, but he encouraged us to make it our own.
I love that. Look, I just want to thank all of y'all so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I appreciate you. And I'm just sending nothing but love and light all your ways. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You too,
Thank
Shalana.
you. I received that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Fine both of your characters like very interesting because they're both tethered to Lex in like different ways. And so I want to know, because it feels like your character, she kind of gets swept up in the system of power that she doesn't fully understand.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like your character willingly gives herself to him. So I wanted you to talk about exploring the complexities of the relationship with Lex in the movie.
I look at Eve as probably someone that doesn't come from money or power or anything. So Lex is obviously a very handsome, powerful, rich man that attracts that for her. And yeah, it's like that power dynamic of a powerful man and living in his world and by his rules. But I think, you know, she's just gonna have to figure it out how to protect herself from all that.
For me, is engineer is somebody that's deeply hurt by the world and the path that it's taken. So she is willing to sacrifice herself and her humanity to save the world. And she believes in Lex, and I feel like she turns a blind eye to everything that she clearly sees it's wrong about him because the end justifies the means. I said it wrong the other today. Anyway, and it's somebody that truly believes in Lex, and I feel like that's gonna be hurtful for her in the movie for sure.
But how is it playing? Because technically she's a villain, but she's kind of morally gray. I feel like she, like you said, she's fighting for a higher, belief right now. You know, how is it playing a character that the world sees as dangerous, but she feels like she's actually doing something good?
I feel like that's the magic of James's writing because every character lives in that gray area. Even Superman sometimes makes questionable choices, and that's beautiful. And I feel like you and I and like Sara, we are in our own story the superheroes, but we are somebody else's villains, you know? And I feel like that's just life. And for me, I think the most challenging thing was to show that confusion and that frustration in those fighting sequences, you know, kind of the questioning that she constantly has throughout the movie, and the mix of the human inside of her that keeps fighting to come back out, and the machine that she becomes more and more as she connects to technology.
But I think it's also interesting with Eve because, you know, they was underestimating my girl, okay?
I know.
Underestimating her, and I was like...
I'm like, yeah, everyone keeps yelling at me. Everyone keeps thinking I'm this, like, just... you know,
dumb little
girl taking selfies, and like she's a genius.
I was like, let them know y'all was underestimating Eve the whole time.
I'm
and
like,
she was
let them underestimate me.
Okay,
You know, let them.
That's a superpower, you know?
I know. I'm like, and I'll get you.
Yes.
I'll get you back. But yeah, it's been fun to play someone that there's more than meets the eye, and like I even said this the other day. In a way, it's been kind of therapeutic for me to play someone that is almost dealing with the same thing that I do as a person, that is viewed a certain way but feels like something else inside, so like the perspective of how you're perceived. So yeah, it was really fun to. I mean, and she's so extra, and she's so fabulous, and she's so funny, and but like I said, there's more substance to her, and she's not dumb.
I like that. You know, there's something that Superman says, like his superpower, like it's being human. Now I want to know for the both of you, if you had to choose what your superpower was, what would it be and why?
Teletransportation.
Absolutely. For the both of us, it's just that she's from Portugal, I'm from Venezuela, and we're away from our families by choice, by the way.
Yeah.
But you know, it's nice to think that maybe you can do this and be having dinner with your parents, you know, back home.
Yeah.
I would do that just to avoid traffic.
That
Also,
too.
and
Yeah.
airports.
never
TSA.
again.
Ooh,
Never again.
honey, don't get me started, okay? It is a rough life to live.
It is a rough life. At the airport at it was England that we kept getting
Heathrow.
That is a tough airport to get through, okay?
Oh, Heathrow is
It was
tough.
so hard. We were like, at some point we were laughing. It's like we're gonna miss our
I
connection.
know, was it Heathrow or Gatwick?
God knows.
You know what? See, that's your real life superpower. You have survived the craziest airport.
We survived Heathrow.
Look, I just want to thank the both of you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I appreciate you. And I'm just sending nothing but love and light both your ways. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank
Same
you so
your way.
much. Thank you.
You
I
look
really
fabulous
appreciate
today,
that.
by
Thank
the
you.
way.
Always look fantastic.
Let me see your nails.
I know. I was like,
What are you doing?
So this is
They're
Jurassic and this is
Superman. No.
this is so cool.
Oh wow, this is awesome.
This is amazing.
Thank you so much.
The best.